From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Carl Konevsky.
Among Delaware's top stories for Friday, December 7th, Delaware's state auditor says he'll serve a subpoena today on the state's health secretary because of needed documents from the Delaware Psychiatric Center.
State Auditor Tom Wagner says Department of Health and Social Services Secretary Vince McConey won't turn over personnel files and other documents Wagner needs. Wagner says it's the first time he's ever had to subpoena a state official to get state records.
The man responsible for 2 Wilmington bank robberies in September is back in Delaware after being arrested. U.S. Marshals took Antonio Logan into custody Thursday morning. After being returned to Delaware, Logan confessed, and Wilmington police charged him with the September 11th holdup of the Artisans Bank on 9th Street and the robbery of the Delaware National Bank on Harrison Street the very next day. Members of Delaware's congressional delegation call the Bush administration's deal to freeze interest rates on subprime mortgages a good start.
Congressman Castle says no one benefits from foreclosures and hopes the agreement will provide relief to those homeowners in fear of losing their homes to growing subprime mortgage rates. Castle sponsors the Emergency Mortgage Loan Modification Act, a bill protecting mortgage servicers that modify the at-risk loans. Senator Carper says the announcement is a good start to provide badly needed financial relief for many American homeowners. He says by freezing rates, Delaware homeowners can keep up with mortgage payments and avoid default and foreclosure.
Coming up, one candidate for governor calls on DelDOT to pay for Sunday bus service. WDEL News continues in a moment.
When it comes to flooring, great style doesn't have to be expensive, especially when you shop at Carpet One Floor & Home. Our 1,000-store buying power gives you the best prices on hardwood, carpet, tile, laminate, and more, including brands you'll find exclusively at Carpet One Floor & Home, like Liz Claiborne Home, Good Housekeeping with Resista, and Lee's, all with guaranteed installation and no payments for 1 year. See how easy it is to find your perfect style. Shop in store, online, or in-home, only at Carpet One Floor & Home.
One of Delaware's most wanted is now behind bars. John Singleton, who was on the state police top 10 most wanted fugitives list, was arrested by county police Wednesday. He's a convicted moderate-risk sex offender who moved and didn't re-register after changing addresses. Singleton, who was also wanted for violating probation on a Justice of the Peace Court warrant, is being held at the Howard Young Prison. Lots of questions surrounding a shooting in Wilmington. Police say a Newark man was shot in the groin at 9th Street and Clifford Brown Walk just before 8:30 Thursday morning, though they found him in the area of Taylor and Kirkwood Streets. The victim was taken to Christiana Hospital in stable condition. Police have no information about a suspect and ask anyone who may have information about the shooting to give them a call. State Treasurer and Democratic gubernatorial hopeful Jack Markell wants DelDOT to reconsider its decision not to pay for Sunday bus service. WDEL's Frank Gerace reports.
Markell wrote a letter to DelDOT Secretary Carol Ann Wicks saying Sunday bus service is, quote, the right thing to do for Delaware because people who don't own cars but do work, shop, go to church, or otherwise need to travel on Sundays can't afford cab fare. Markell pointed to the aging of the state's population and the environmental impact of carbon emissions from cars as additional reasons for buses to run on Sundays, and said if he's elected governor, he'll make the service a priority, working to find, quote, creative funding, perhaps including public-private partnerships. Frank Gerace, 1150 AM, WDEL.
The Delaware Blue Hens head to Illinois for their shot at a spot in the national championship game. WDEL Sports and AccuWeather are coming up.
As you look for your college experience, make sure you look at Wilmington College, your key to success.
In WDEL Sports, Delaware hopes its second trip to the Midwest in a week will be as successful as its last one. The Blue Hens are in Carbondale, Illinois, where they'll take on the 4th-ranked Southern Illinois Saturday at 4 p.m. in the semifinals of the championship subdivision playoffs. Last Saturday, Delaware upset top-ranked Northern Iowa 39-27. The Salukis are much like Northern Iowa, with an outstanding quarterback and solid defense. They also run the ball well, and their only loss? That was to Northern Iowa by 6 points. The Eagles' faint playoff hopes will be on the line Sunday when they host the New York Giants at the Link. The Eagles are 5-7 and have lost their last 2 games. The Giants beat the Eagles back in Week 4 of the season, 16-3. Sunday's game will mark the return of Donovan McNabb, who had missed the last 2.5 games with a sprained ankle and a jammed thumb. You can hear the game on 11:50 a.m. WDEL, starting at noon. The Delaware women's basketball team tried to turn the tide in a game against Maryland's Eastern Shore. WDEL's Sean Green has the story.
The Delaware women's basketball team trying to break a 6-game losing streak as they hosted UMES last night. Hens will come out driving. Corinthia Benison goes through the Hawk defense for the layup. She had 13 in the first half. The Hawks would respond in kind. Here's Casey Morton through the zone. Her basket puts the Hawks up by 1. Late in the first, Kyle DeHaven points to the spot, and Jamie Mundy gets there and hits the 16-footer. Delaware's first halftime lead of the season was 31-29. Hawks take over with Chana Parker in the second here off the pass. Hits the layup, and the Hawks were up by 3. In transition, again they find Parker ahead of the pack, and she'll hit the shot. The Hawks up 5. Finally, the quick pass from Sussex Tech's Brittany Atkins for the layup. Parker at 13. The Hawks roll 65-53.
Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast. Cloudy today, maybe some wet snow in the afternoon with no accumulation, high of 38 degrees. Tonight, cloudy skies with some rain, low down to 32. Clouds may break for some sun tomorrow with a high of 44. Then on Sunday, cloudy and cold, rain and drizzle, and a high of 41 degrees. Get news updates throughout the day, Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 11:50 a.m. WDEL, and get WDEL News text alerts sent to your cell phone. Sign up at WDEL.com. I'm Carl Konevsky in for Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.